It's a Sunday, everybody, and I hope you're back from church with your family, watching the videos today, saying hello. Thank you for being here, my friends. And this is some good news. Let's talk about a good bright spot in Hollywood right now, which is called A Working Man. This is the Jason Statham film that's coming out very soon, developed by Sylvester Stallone. And this is really, really special, guys, because it's actually based on novels by Chuck Dixon. And Chuck Dixon is one of the greatest writers of our time, one of the most prolific writers in all of comics. If not, he might be the most prolific writer ever in comics. And he's been writing this beautiful novel series, just pure action, lots of fun, for a long time. It got picked up for development for a movie, and it's actually coming out in March. It is March now. Cool. So it's coming out this month. And it's looking like it's going to be an epic success. What does this actually mean? It means there's massive changes possible in Hollywood, and it depends on you guys. So we have to all go see this film en masse. Be there opening day, guys. Hype this movie, because this is something that is like a big change in Hollywood that we need, and it needs to be a giant success. It looks like it's going to be there, but we can tip the scales, my friends. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in pop culture, especially films like action movies and the like. We appreciate you guys for being here. This is my Fandom Pulse Substack, and we're reporting the pop culture news that nobody else does. And so we have an interview with Bill Murray we were talking about on Joe Rogan, Brandon Sanderson in fantasy news. There's lots going on all over the news, and I would love for you to check this out. It's in the description below. Sign up, guys. We don't have any advertising or anything like that, so we rely on people like you. If you want to do a paid membership, it's only $5 a month. It supports us a lot, and we appreciate you for doing so. So, the upcoming action thriller A Working Man, which stars Jason Statham, is directed by David Ayer and written by Sylvester Stallone based on Chuck Dixon's Leave on Trade novel, expected to rake in profits. This is interesting. Box office analyst Sean Robbins recently shared the box office tracking predictions for the film, which arrives in theaters March 28th. He predicts the film will have a strong opening weekend between 12 and 17 million, predicting 15 million. As for the entire domestic run, he predicts it will be due between 35 and 68 million, with a prediction of 55 million. Now, we don't know what the budget is of this film just yet, but the guesstimate that people are talking about is around 40 million. So if this is doing 55 million domestic right away during the run, then it's doing a lot more, of course, internationally, which means it's going to at least have a 2-to-1 margin of what it would cost to produce to what it's actually going to make out there in the theaters right away. And this is where we can tip the scales, guys, because if this outperforms this and becomes a runaway hit, this then green lights Chuck Dixon novels for the future, which is a really good thing. Now, Chuck Dixon is not only one of the most badass action writers out there who's done incredible work, but he's also a conservative Christian guy who is definitely on the team and is somebody who was blacklisted from DC Comics back in the early 2000s because of his vocal conservative stances. He was one of the first people blacklisted out there. They removed him. They said he'd never work again. He's actually doing more comic work than ever. He's working with Eric July in the Rippaverse, just absolutely crushing it over there in addition to these novels. He's also working for Arkhaven. If you're not familiar with Arkhaven, it's an alternative webtoon. It's called arkhaven.com. You can read a bunch of comic books for free, including Chuck's comic books, and a bunch of my comic books are on there too, guys. So if you want to check out my work, it's a great way to do so. And so he's really been fighting the fight on the independent level for a long, long time, putting in his dues, working really, really hard. And what I'd love to see right here is not only this to be a huge success as a single film, but this to become a film franchise. The Leave on Cade series has 11 books in it. It's a huge series. They can keep making movies of this, and they'll probably end up making 4 or 5 if this is a huge success. And 2 and 3 will make it even better and make it even more money, because that's kind of how it goes. Now, these type of movies like this are built for streaming too. So if it makes this big of money on top of things before it hits Amazon Prime in terms of for its streaming services, they want this for the streaming service, really. And this run is just kind of a test run and a marketing run for the streaming service. So if it makes that big of money, then hits streaming, this is a huge profitable success for Amazon, which again leads to more Chuck Dixon books, leads to more Chuck Dixon wins, and then leads to conservatives realizing, Hollywood realizing, these companies, that conservatives have money and actually do want to go see films. And that is something that we've not really demonstrated a lot in culture so far. We've done pretty well with the Angel Studios releases, of course, of Of course, there was the big Runaway hit a couple years ago, which also dealt with human trafficking as well. And of course, they also had their Passion of the Christ, which went crazy, but they haven't seen that in full scale. But this is our point where we can make our mark right here and actually check this out and go to the box office, get our butts in the seats, and do good for the culture here. So I'm very, very excited about this. The trailer looks fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It looks extremely action-packed. Jason Statham is just crushing it. He's just playing, the normal role that he does. And this looks even better than The Beekeeper. And if you look at these numbers, by the way, The Beekeeper is such a huge success in the action genre with this sort of thing. The budget and this are actually similar to the numbers that The Beekeeper did. So if this hits the numbers of The Beekeeper, that's really, really good. However, if we can outperform The Beekeeper with Chuck Dixon work here, this is a big, big deal where, again, we can change the culture really big here. So as I said, these prediction models line up well with The Beekeeper, which was also directed by David Ayer. The film had an opening weekend of $16.5 million, went on to gross $66 million domestically, and had another $86 million internationally for a global of $152 million. And so this is where the budget numbers, where they assume this budget's very the same. It only had a budget of $40 million, which means it blew past the break-even point to generate significant profit for Amazon MGM Studios. And we have that opportunity here, again, with the Levon's Cade novels by Chuck Dixon. The Working Man, if it follows the same trend, it will bring significant dough for Amazon Studios. Robbins believes it will be, and saying early social and trailer impressions for Working Man indicates that the latest Jason Statham-led actioneer, helmed by The Beekeeper's David Ayer, should perform well with men and women at a time on the calendar with minimal competition. The official description says Levon Cade left behind a decorated military career in the Black Ops to live a simple life working construction. When his boss's daughter, who likely family to him, was taken by human traffickers, his search to bring her home uncovers a world of corruption far greater than he ever could have imagined. This looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to be there opening day. I'm bringing my family. I'm bringing my friends, guys. Please spread the word on this film. This is something that we need to be a win for people on our side. If Chuck Dixon becomes like the biggest, most important writer out there, you can only imagine how Hollywood's going to change in the coming years. This is a huge opportunity for everybody. And it's time to put our money where our mouths is. This is it. A Working Man is the movie of the year, and I'm super excited for it. And I'm super excited for this team to have an epic win. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, my friends. Please hit the like and subscribe button and join us here. Again, this is my Fandom Pulse Substack. So we are talking about this stuff. John Trent here, who wrote this article, is the greatest journalist in all of entertainment media. He does the work. We're all trying to promote good conservative projects to change the culture for real, not just complain about things, my friends. Sign up. It's in the description below, and we would be honored if you would become a paid member for only $5 a month and support our journalistic efforts. We need a little bit more to keep this sustainable, guys. It's had a great start. We are already beating out a lot of pop culture websites with our daily views already, but we can push this to the next level with your help. Thank you for being there. It's in the description below.